play. I don't have a solid plan or anything. This is another one of my spontaneous decisions because I'm a terrible planner. Just thought I would hop on here and see if anybody wanted to chat while I crochet. I dropped my youngest off at college yesterday. Been a rough weekend. Hey guys. Hey Vicky. Welcome to another one of my spontaneous lives with absolutely no plan. I'm so frustrated right now. I am beyond frustrated. I know I said in my last video that I was like giving up TikTok. Well, I can't because I'm in all these like TikTok groups. I was thinking about you too. But it's funny, I'm in all these TikTok groups for like TikTok shop sellers, and they're like giving all their tips and tricks and everything. And I keep trying because they're making so much money, and they're like, oh, it's so easy and blah blah blah. I just keep trying, keep spending hours and hours and hours and hours trying. It just ain't in the cards for me. My daughter's a senior and it's just hitting me. I probably cannot talk about it very much or I will start hysterically crying. I am not exactly Vicky. Hey Ellen. I am not an emotional person normally. And so we went up, we drove up Thursday, and then Friday we got him moved in, and Lee and I had to come home Friday night because he had to work Saturday. But my ex-husband and his wife stayed with him. Anyways, so Friday I did really good. We got him moved in, and I was doing a really good job of like being excited for him and, you know, making it a happy thing. And then we left Friday night, and I did fine because he was having a good time. He was doing things like he was good. So I was good. And I thought, okay, well, he's having a blast. He's happy. That's all I wanted. We're good. This could not have went any better. And then got up Saturday, was here by myself because Lee was at work, and my daughter it's rush week for their sorority, so she's doing that. So I was here by myself all day yesterday and started going through my pictures and stuff. Hysterically crying, which is not like me at all. I do not hysterically cry over anything. I was hysterical, absolutely hysterical. There's a roll of this roll of toilet paper was a full roll, and that is from yesterday, from me blowing my nose and drying my tears. Hysterical. Well, it's not like I don't know why it hit me so hard. Like it I think it was just that realization. Even though like Friday, I knew we were leaving him. I knew, and I'm used to not seeing him, for periods of time because they stay half the time with me and half the time with their dad. So like I'm used to being away from them, and I thought I would. It see, I can't even talk about it. It hit me a lot harder than I thought it would because I was doing fine. And then I started going through pictures to make like a little short vlog or whatever just for the memories. And I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I posted it here and I posted it on my other social media. But when I made that was when like the realization of everything just hit me, like slapped me across the face. And hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. Which, I mean, most moms, I think, cry, for that kind of thing because it's hard. But you have to, like, really know me. That is not like me. That's not like me at all. Yeah, it just, like, he's gonna, Labor Day is in a couple weeks, so he's gonna be home in a couple of weeks. And so, like, I was fine. He was having a good time. He was happy. Like, everything was great. And then it was bam, hysterical. And I really don't know why. It just, I can't even talk about it because I don't want to start, I don't want to get upset again. I think I got it all out. Um, I don't think I have any tears left. I'm probably dehydrated, but yeah, like literally, this was a full roll of toilet paper. That's how much I cried. I cried hysterically for hours yesterday. So much so that I was exhausted. Do y'all ever do that? Like, I wonder if that happens to other people. Like, I'm not a crier. I don't break down hardly ever. So when I do, when I have a good cry, I'm exhausted. Like, exhausted. Are y'all like that too? I'm curious. But yeah, I was dehydrated probably and exhausted from crying. But I talked to him last night. Everything was good. I talked to him this morning, and Colleen said yes. I talked to him this morning and asked him what the plan was for the day. The one good thing, and I don't know, yes, Vicky, that is exactly how I felt. Um, this is my first, like, I went to college, but lived at home. My daughter is in college, but she lives at home. So this is our first experience in the family of someone like going away to college. So I don't know, like, I don't have anything to compare it to. I'm working on something. I know you can't really see it, but that's what I'm doing. Um, so this is our first experience with like dropping someone off for college. But the they did a really good job of like they've got so many events scheduled, so many activities scheduled because classes don't actually start, I think, until it's either Wednesday or Thursday when classes start. So I was worried about um, dropping him off and then like him being isolated in a dorm room, like sad. Because Grayson, I don't talk about my kids at all on here, and that's probably not going to change. But I will say Grayson, um, he can be very emotional and very in his head. And so I was worried about dropping him off and leaving him, and then him being isolated in a dorm room in his head and getting real upset. But I think they've done a really good job of like scheduling activities and getting them involved, and like the upperclassmen, because all freshmen have to live on campus at this college. Again, I don't know if that's like normal. I have no idea. But they're required to live on campus. So the staff and everybody are like used to dealing with freshmen who are away from home for the first time and that sort of thing. So they do a really good job of reaching out and being friendly and doing things to keep them involved. So he's kind of out and about doing those activities. So hopefully that'll keep him busy. But when I talked to him this morning, I asked him, how are you feeling? Are you sad? Whatever. He was like, oh, no, surprisingly, I haven't got sad yet. And I said, well, good. I hope it stays that way. So, oh, well. Yeah, I don't really know what that's like. I felt like I did a good job yesterday of like staying excited for him and trying to like hype it up, like, oh my gosh, this is your new home and this is your own room and you're gonna have so much fun and all these activities, and so I was real upbeat and happy about it. And then I had my little breakdown the next day. I have a 39 and 34-year-old men. I went through something when they were younger. I'm 39. I'm turning 40 in, I don't even know what today, September 6th. I'll be 40. So, my daughter's cousin attends the same school as your son. Last year was her first year there. She loves it. Oh, wow. Well, that's good. That does make me happy. We've done several events up there, like getting ready for him to go up there, and everything that we've done, they have been wonderful. They seem like really on top of making sure that freshmen are taken care of. They seem to like understand kids being away from home for the first time and all of that stuff. So they live in Missouri, so that's a long way from home. Fortunately, it's about 2.5 hours away for us, and Lee's brother Forrest lives in Huntsville, and he lives like 6 or 7 minutes from the school. So, and he's got an extra bedroom and all that, so I can go up there anytime and visit and spend the night with Forrest. So I at least have that option. I just hope I'm done crying. I hope what happened yesterday does not happen again, because that was, see, I can't crochet and talk at the same time. I messed up everything. Forgot what I was doing. I'm working on it's like a quilt, but it's gonna be a crocheted quilt. I've never seen anything like it, so I'm excited about it. Me and you have same injury. Thank you so much. I'm finally going home soon after. Are you Are you the one I spoke to that is in your 70s and you're fused like way far down? Is that you? There's somebody, okay, okay, so you're different. Okay. You're not the same person I was thinking of. Well, so you have the same injury. You're finally going home after 2 years in recovery and rehab. Wow. That is a long, long recovery. So you have an AOD as well? I'd love to hear some more about your story. Do you feel like you have a fence post shoved in your neck? Because that's what I feel like. Yeah, that's brutal. Exactly, with the fence post. Yeah. Even now, it's been almost 3 years now. It still feels like a fence post back there. I mean, I guess you get used to it because you don't have a choice, but it definitely doesn't feel normal. Oh, so you'll appreciate this then when I say that sneezing is a religious experience, not in a good way. And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time I sneeze, I like scream. Sneezing is the absolute worst. When I first came home, I do have a funny story about that. When I first came home from the hospital, they took my trach out, but the hole hadn't closed yet, so I still had a hole right here. And when I would like sneeze or do certain things, the air would come out of this hole and it would make this like crazy I can't replicate it, like blowhole sound. It was funny. It was a neat party trick. I would be like, "Hey, watch what I could do," and I would hold my breath and like tense up, and it would like squeal out my neck hole. They were like, "Christy, please quit doing that." So we have more developments with the OHSP stuff. Those of you that are also following me on Facebook may have seen some things. So I'm getting ready to do another video on all of that. Things got really bad the other night, like really bad. Because the latest development that we found out is that the employees have their own designated ambulances that they drive home. And by drive home, I mean like in surrounding counties, like not even in the same county. So taxpayers are paying for that mileage, the fuel, all of that. And anyways, someone had sent me a picture of two of the ambulances in a different county, and we posted that picture, and the homeowner, who I did not name, I didn't name whose house it was, didn't post the address. It was just a picture of a portion of the house with two ambulances in their driveway. And the homeowner went batshit crazy about it. And things got intense. Threats were made. There may be a police report having to be filed on that. I can't go into too many details, but things got very bad the other night after I posted that picture. And had I known it would go that way, I wouldn't have done it. I mean, I would have done it, just not that night. Because that was what upsets me is that was Grayson's last night here at home with me. Had I known that it was going to go down like that, I would have never done that. And so his last night at home with me, we were dealing with just a lot. And I was pretty pissed about that. Just here for the moment to say that all of us here support you. Oh, thank you, Todd. That's really sweet. It's not your personal vehicle. Exactly. I work for a city department, and it's a fireable offense if you drive a city vehicle. It's funny that you say that. I want to say something, but I'm not sure if I can just yet. So I'm going to have to refrain from that for now. But yes, people have been fired for that in the past. But now suddenly they're encouraged to do it. And I will just kind of leave that there. But this is going to be a very long process. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And I will be making another video sometime this week. Yeah, exactly, Vicky. Oh, I also found out that some people have been calling around. I have to be kind of vague about some of this. But I did find out that some people have been making phone calls to people in my life to dig up dirt on me. And their exact words were, "We're looking for information for dirt to discredit her." Which I thought was funny because professionally, there is nothing to discredit me. And I'm assuming they didn't find anything because they ain't said anything. Now, personally, are there some things in my past that I'm ashamed of? Absolutely. But the joke's on them because I own up to my shit. The skeletons in my closet are known by the people in my life that matter to me, and we're good. So if they want to air it out, they can do that, and I'm going to laugh about it because I don't care and I expect it. But like professionally, no. There's nothing. There is no dirt. I don't have dirt. So I just thought that was funny. Like, they can't argue with what I'm saying. They can't disprove anything that I'm saying. Yeah, that's right, Vicky. So instead of sticking to the issues that I've brought up, they just want to try to find dirt on me to discredit me instead of fixing the issues that have been. I found that interesting. But also, if they do decide to get on the internet and say whatever about me, they better make sure it's true. If it's true, they're good. You can do that. You can get on the internet and say things about somebody that are true. If it's not true, then they'll get a lawsuit too, because I'm not putting up with that dirty shit. I want to write you out for all that sweet social. That's right. They're going to get my 36 cents. By God. So, yeah, I just found that interesting that instead of, correcting me or, fixing the issues at hand, they just want to try to find dirt on me to discredit me. So that kind of says a lot. If they were in the right in what they were doing, they could just accurately defend them. That exactly. Instead, they have to go start a smear campaign. Exactly. 100%. And they can air out my dirty laundry. I don't care. Because I own my shit. So, what you doing?
Wrapping up this biscuit I left sitting out. Gotta wrap it up.
I'm talking to our YouTube friends.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to come say hi? I used to work in a group home before I reported abuse. The home was investigated and closed down. Yeah. You want to come say hey? Come here.
Hello, everybody.
They miss you. We were gonna do a video this week, but we just haven't yet. We've kind of had a lot going on. Oh crap. I don't crochet so well when I'm trying to talk. Yep, Bailey's back there talking. I'll tell you what he did yesterday. Y'all know he's like taking over the laundry room, and he loves to hang out in the laundry room. Yesterday I had to run to the grocery store, and he would not come out of the laundry room. Every time I tried to pick him up, he would bite me. And so I finally just had to shut the laundry room door and leave him in there and run to the grocery store. And I came back and he was still just hanging out in the laundry room like a psychopath. He's been saying roll tide a lot here lately. And again, this was one of my spontaneous lives. So I really don't have like an agenda of anything to talk about. Just kind of thought, we'd talk about what y'all want to talk about. Happy to do that. I just had to get on a live today that I felt like went right. Because I did 2 on TikTok today for like 2 hours and didn't sell a single thing. So that's fun. I did a TikTok live when I was doing my eye makeup. And then I did another TikTok live and did my nails, which I don't even like. So I'm going to have to redo them. Didn't sell anything. He is ready for football season. I wouldn't say he's a baby. I would say he's a toddler. And he will always be a toddler. I watched you, California. You're watching me from California? Hello. Can I lift my I can. Hold on, I'll show you. I can now, but I had a really hard time with it for a long time. But yeah. Uh so what they'll probably do for you in your physical therapy and occupational therapy, they'll have you do things like for me they had like a pegboard, and they had these pegs in these holes, and I would have to move them from like down low, and then I would have to put them in the highest hole that I could reach. But yes, I had a very hard time raising my arms for a while, but I can do it now. I just, it's not easy, but I can do it. So hopefully you'll get there. Do you have a spinal cord injury too? Yes, there's hope. I also had drop foot. I don't know if you know what that is, but I had drop foot too. So my right foot was paralyzed. Well, it wasn't. I could like press it down, but I couldn't pull it back, and so my right foot would just dangle like this, like it was dead. Um, and after probably close to a year and several surgeries, I finally got that back. So you don't have a spinal cord injury then. That's good. I love your crochet. Thank you. I'm not so good at crocheting and talking at the same time though. And then I had some ice cream koozies on my Etsy shop, and here lately people have been buying them, which I think I'm almost out now. So there's not really anything on there, but people have been buying them, and at some point I got them mixed up, so I didn't have like they would order a specific color, but I wouldn't have that color. I'd have one close. So the past like 3 or 4 ice cream koozies, I've not only given them for free, but paid for shipping and everything because I didn't. So I'd refund them and then just ship them a different one because somehow I got my colors mixed up. And so my hip flexor on my right side is weaker than my left. How did you get your injury? Car wreck? What do you need, Claire? I'm sorry, y'all. Again, I didn't have an agenda. I just kind of went live and uh, with the expectation that if somebody wanted to chat, they would chat in the comment section. My Etsy shop is called Rusty Hook Studio, but I think the only thing that's on there right now is I may have one or two ice cream koozies left. A kid stole a car and police were chasing him and he went through the light. And that's one thing I am glad I didn't have to deal with my injury, in that it was my fault. And so there was never a point where I like had somebody to blame. And I don't know if you do, or like I don't know how that is for you, if you struggle with that at all, but that was something I was at least glad that I didn't have like that mental, like another mental turmoil of like being mad at somebody else. I guess if you're trying to find some good things from a horrible situation, that I was glad that it was my fault. I love your tattoos on your arms. Thank you. Sometimes I want more, but I don't want to pay for more. Plus, they hurt. They hurt really bad. I'm not a baby, but definitely ain't fun. This tattoo right here, let's see. This one, rose. This one was gonna be like a half sleeve, and it was gonna be like a floral half sleeve. But I was so happy with that rose, the way it looked, that I decided to stop there. Which I may have been even happier with the sleeve, I don't know, but I was just really happy with it and decided to leave it like that. And then this one is my newest one, but look, she forgot to color in these two. See, the rest are all dark. She forgot those two, and I just haven't made it back to get them filled in, and really don't even think about it. So they may just stay like that forever. I'm not angry since he was young and stupid. He's sitting in jail at such a young age. He assaulted the police officer also. Well, I'm glad that you don't struggle with that on top of everything else, because it's hard enough without having to factor in like outside influences. Oh, I got something to tell y'all. I'm located in Alabama. I do have something to tell y'all. So, Vicky and Ellen, if Ellen's still here, I'm sure they saw this. Y'all know I don't get very emotional, right? I feel like I do a really good job of like sticking to, like, I feel like I do a good job of like separating the emotions from all of it when I talk about it. But the other day, I was being stupid on Facebook. Thank you. I had a bleed on the brain and aneurysm, broke my foot as well. I can walk with a walker. Now need carers in. I just have to accept I can't walk unaided. Christy, the tattoos on my forearm weren't bad, but the one of my Kate on my upper inner arm. Oh, this Are you talking about right there? That one actually wasn't that bad for me. Um, okay, so the other day, I don't remember what was going on, but I was being stupid on Facebook. And I made a post that was like, y'all know me, y'all know my sense of humor and whatever. I joke around a lot. Anyways, I made a post that said, um, I should take an edible and then get on Facebook Live. What could go wrong? Ha ha ha. Totally joking. I've never once in my life done a live on anything while I was under the influence of anything. I'm a pretty responsible person, even though I do cut up and joke a lot. Well, somebody that I don't know commented on it and said something like, I'm assuming because she doesn't share my political views, that she was trying to be a smartass. But she made a comment, and it was something like, why don't you try to use your barely used brain instead of mind altering substances, or something like that? And so I replied, she was like kind of shaming me because I take edibles at night, which I actually haven't had an edible in like 2.5 weeks. Not because I'm out, I have plenty, I just haven't taken any. So she made that comment that was a dig at me for taking edibles. And so I replied to it, and I was like, basically telling her, yes, I take edibles at night as advised by my doctor, but I don't take any prescription pain medication. I don't take any kind of opiate or anything like that. So I take an edible at night instead to help with pain, like anxiety, and to help me sleep, which again, I haven't had one in like 2.5 weeks. And I said, when you've been internally decapitated and your neck looks like this, and then I posted a picture of the hardware, then come and talk to me. And her response, again, I don't get emotional, but her response to that was wah. Edibles is like, it's like marijuana, but you don't smoke it, you eat it in like a little candy. But her response to that, to me saying, I take it because I was internally decapitated, her response was, wah. When I tell you that I was homicidal, um, that that's probably the most upset I have ever been over a social media comment. Like, I'm mad right now even talking about it. And then that coward blocked me before I could respond. Edibles are the only thing that help me when I'm in so much pain and cannot sleep at all. Exactly. And so she was shaming me for doing that. And then when I was like, I was internally decapitated, her response was, wah. Yeah. I feel like I've done a really good job lately of like not letting people on social media get to me, but that one did. That one that one sent me in a blind rage because, like, we don't have to agree on politics. We don't have to agree on religion. Like, You can roast me. I enjoy a good roast. I enjoy a good, like, bickering sometimes. Say anything you want about me. But nobody, not one person on the face of this planet gets to shame me because I take an edible to deal with what happened. But anyways, I don't want to get all worked up about it again because at the end of the day, she's a nobody and it's not that big of a deal. But it definitely was like a trigger, which is not something that normally happens to me. Yes, that's what she said. So I was in a blind rage for about an hour, and then I calmed down and ranted and raved about it, and then got over it. But I've got a pretty thick skin, but I guess when it comes to that, like that's kind of I obviously still touchy for me. I used to be terrible with politics, not now on Facebook. I go through spurts, honestly. I'll go through like a 6 months where I'm like, I'm not, no, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm not gonna talk about it. And I can scroll past things and whatever, and then something will happen that just pisses me off, and then I go nuts for a while, and can't keep my mouth shut. I went back and looked at my analytics, and there was one, I think one day on Facebook last week where I kind of went ham with politics, and I lost quite a few followers. Um, but I still feel the same. I'm sure I could have a I'm sure I could have a better approach sometimes, but just go through spurts with it. But I will definitely be glad. I'll tell you what I'm worried about. I think I talked about it in one of my recent videos. I'll tell you what I'm worried about with the political stuff is no matter which side you're on, and we don't have to get into all of that, but this is just my thinking. Go ahead, Claire. Um, the reason I'm worried is because if I'm worried about if Donald Trump wins, I'm worried about the implications of that and the whole Project 2025 stuff, and just there's just a lot. So I'm worried about just what happens to us if he wins. But then I'm also worried about Kamala Harris winning, because if she wins, there's like the people, and I'm not talking about everybody who is a conservative, but like the fringe group of conservatives that are like diehard MAGA. I'm worried, based on like the rhetoric I'm seeing, that like the foundation has already been laid for like political violence. And I hope I'm just being dramatic about it, or I hope that I'm overthinking it, but I'm worried that because he's kind of laid the groundwork already for, well, there's no way I can't win. If I lose, it's because they stole it. He's been saying that here lately. So his like diehard people that are just like they're just in that deep. I'm worried that that group of people is going to be a problem. So that's why I'm kind of, that's that's just where I'm at. Have you got a spinal cord injury? Yes, I do have a spinal cord injury, but fortunately, my spinal cord injury, so normally with like an internal decapitation, they say they usually, like if this is your skull and this is your spine, a lot of times they go this way or this way, and so it kind of severs the cord. Um, so mine was this way. Mine was completely stretched. So I have like my spinal cord injury. I have like my right hamstring doesn't really work very well. My feet hurt. Like I have neuropathy really bad in both of my feet. So like if I don't have on socks, the pain is like almost unbearable. And like I can't tell the difference between hot and cold or like sharp and dull. And then there's like other parts of my body that I just don't feel. And then every once in a while I pee on myself. Um, don't really know why, but they pretty much told me that with my spinal cord injury, I could have like any and everything. Um, and it can be an all the time or like I'm just going to have weird issues the rest of my life and they can come and go. So my spinal cord injury was a stretching and it's kind of like an incomplete spinal cord injury. So but luckily the things that I deal with from a spinal cord injury aren't severe enough that it affects a whole lot, other than like if I'm out in public and I pee on myself, that would be an issue. That has not happened yet. The times that it's happened has been, it's usually in the morning, like when I get out of bed and I'm trying to get to the bathroom to pee, it just will start coming out and I can't, I don't have like the bladder control, which is interesting because I have interstitial cystitis, which is a bladder issue, and it's very painful. And before my accident, I would pee every 10 to 15 minutes some days. I could not stay out of the bathroom. And at night, I would get up at least 3 times a night to pee. It like really affected my life. And then when I had my accident and a spinal cord injury, it like cured my interstitial cystitis because now I don't really like feel my bladder and I don't always know when it's full because it's kind of like dulled that sensation. So trying to make lemonade out of lemons, my spinal cord injury actually cured my bladder issues. Now, I don't suggest throwing yourself off a motorcycle to try to fix anything, but I'll take what I can get. And so I do not get up in the middle of the night to pee anymore. I don't have to pee every 5 minutes. I just occasionally won't make it to the bathroom. But luckily, I'm a hermit anyways, so it hasn't been an issue. And it doesn't happen like all the time. It happens like probably once every couple of weeks. So it's not like a huge deal. Embarrassing, yes. Frustrating, yes. But I would rather deal with that than the bladder issues I had before. So, in a weird way, my accident cured my bladder issues. I was in the back seat without a seatbelt. Always, always, always wear your seatbelt. Which, I'm the idiot that rode a motorcycle. So, but I can tell you as a paramedic exactly what happens when you don't wear a seatbelt. Because I run a lot of car wrecks. It's killed a lot of people. And what happens, so any of you who do not wear a seatbelt, let me tell you what happens when you don't wear a seatbelt. If you do not wear a seatbelt and you get into a car accident, most of the fatalities that I have seen, what happens is there's an impact and then the car flips. And when that happens, windows break. You go out the window and then the car either rolls on top of you or you're slung so far that you don't survive the impact. Like, that's most of the time, that's what happens when someone's not wearing a seatbelt, is they get slung out of the car and then the car will roll on top of them. So I have never once ran a car wreck where the seatbelt caused an injury other than like bruising. And I've never ran a car wreck where someone would have survived had they not been wearing a seatbelt. But I've heard people argue that a ton. I've heard that so many times when I would like kind of scold somebody for not wearing a seatbelt, and they would say, "Well, seatbelt can cut my head off," or what. Like, they always had a rebuttal of, "Well, seatbelt can kill you too." But I can't even tell you how many car wrecks I've run where people were unrestrained and got killed, but I never once ran one where the seatbelt killed them. So just, FYI. Yeah, I'm glad your granddaughter was wearing a seatbelt too. I've also, fortunately, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I have never had a child fatality that was properly restrained in a car seat. Never had a fatality. Had fatalities where they weren't, but if a child is in a proper car seat and properly restrained, like, unless it is just an absolute freak scenario, they're probably going to come through that. So I'm a big advocate for that. Lee has seen some things that we can't talk about on here, but how have I been feeling lately? I've been feeling pretty good. A little bit emotional because I just dropped my son off for college. But I did get a court date for disability. So we go in front of a judge November 7th. Do I miss my job? I am ashamed to say that I do not. I always thought that once I got out of it that I would miss it, but that has not been the case. And I feel a little bit guilty about that, to be honest with you. I don't know what that says about me. It may not say the best thing about me, but I don't. Every time I hear a siren now, I'm like, ugh, I'm glad I'm not doing that. And then I've also seen some like been out in public, like at Walmart or something, and see somebody that obviously had like congestive heart failure, like the swelling and the fluid on their legs, and like I could hear fluid in their lungs just walking past them. And I caught myself thinking, "Ooh, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore." And I feel bad about that. I feel bad that that was my, my initial gut reaction instead of, oh, poor guy. My initial gut reaction was, ooh, glad I don't have to do that anymore. And that doesn't say a great thing about me, but that's the truth. So it was a very long explanation to tell you that I actually don't miss it, and that I feel bad that I don't miss it. But there's a lot that people don't understand. I loved helping people. Um, it's such a good feeling when, that's Alice. It's such a good feeling when you actually get to make a difference, even if it's just something really simple, like picking somebody up off the floor, things like that. That was always a good feeling, but it's the other stuff. It's the people that abuse 911, the people that call in the middle of the night for something that's been going on for 3 weeks. Like, I don't miss the not sleeping. I don't miss the like verbal abuse. I don't miss the physical labor. I don't miss the smells. There's a there's a lot of things I don't miss, and there's some things I do miss. So I hope that explains it. The day before my court date, my lawyer called me and said the judge had read my paperwork and she approved it, so no court. That's awesome for you, but is it not the most frustrating thing that something that you should have been approved for, now you have to pay a lawyer? Like, I'm not saying this is the case, but is it possible that attorneys and judges maybe intentionally do that? I hope that's not the case, but I'm a retired school bus driver. I loved it when I did it. Now I see a bus, I'm glad I don't have. That's how I feel. There's a few things that I do miss, but there's a whole lot that I don't miss. And yeah. But I'm actually going to hop off because I really have to pee, and you can't come with me to the bathroom while I pee. So I'm going to have to say goodbye. I do need to eat something too, but thank y'all for hanging out with me for a bit and chatting. And I'm going to film another OHSP video sometime this week because there have been some new developments. So look forward to that. It was nice to see all you two. Thank you. Bye, y'all.